We have been talking about stablecoins for the last 2 years, and the reason why is because we have been seeing nonstop growth within the stablecoin market, as well as a ton of new launches almost every single year based around stablecoin initiatives. For an example, back in 2025, we witnessed 59 new major stablecoin launches, and the best part about this is look at the names tied to this. We have a US state, Wyoming, launching a state-backed stablecoin. We also have Western Union launching a stablecoin, Klarna as well. So many big names from the space, like Ripple, also launching their own stablecoin, MetaMask, Phantom. There's so much happening around the stablecoin market. Now, one list here that I am very interested in is the non-USD backed stablecoins. We have been watching as more and more stablecoins beyond USD-backed stablecoins are launching. And this is something to watch this year, because I do believe that 2026 is the year where non-USD stablecoins start to really take off. Now, let's talk about a few of them. For an example, back in 2025, we did get a big update from Brian Armstrong regarding stablecoins for Canada, Nigeria, and Brazil, all recently launching on Base. Now, Brazil is one that we know also launched a stablecoin on the XRP ledger through Brazil Bank. This was pegged to the Brazilian real. BBRL offers secure, efficient digital transactions for Brazil and also South America. This was launching in 2025. It already did. We know that this is already on the XRP ledger. We could track all of that as well on rwa.xyz. You guys can look into it. But this was definitely a big update because we started to look into the idea of essentially the XRP ledger becoming a major network for on-chain FX. And I still believe that that is the case. Now, we also got a big update from Luke Judges, who, yes, is a Ripple employee. He just said, to ensure complete clarity, the RLUSD team consistently prioritizes the XRP ledger in every centralized exchange engagement. With some exchanges, they may complete their Ethereum technical integration first, simply because they have existing infrastructure for that network, making it a faster process. This does not reflect a lack of focus on the XRP ledger. Currently, I can see there are many exchanges in the pipeline. Of those, every single one will either support the XRP ledger at launch or has formally agreed to the integration and is actively working towards it. We have every incentive to care about the XRP ledger just as much as the ecosystem. We love XRP and the XRP ledger. So yeah, when it comes back to stablecoin initiatives, a lot of people think like stablecoins are going to replace the underlying assets. Like, oh, it makes XRP as a digital asset useless, or, makes HBAR as a digital asset useless. That is not the case at all. In fact, a lot of stablecoin initiatives, they reinforce the use case of some of these assets, like XRP being a neutral bridge currency between multiple fiat currency based stablecoins. So that's why when we go back to like the Brazil situation with, a Brazilian real stablecoin, yeah, now you have USD and Brazilian real stablecoins on the XRP ledger, which can be easily settled with XRP at the center of that transaction. I still think that that's going to be a huge use case for XRP. And that's also why I think that a lot of these stablecoin initiatives are very bullish for the underlying XRP use case. Now, on top of all of this, remember back in December that I said that going into 2026, we're going to see the UK officially launching a sterling pound stablecoin. We have here in 2026, the FCA has confirmed that the UK is preparing to launch sterling pound stablecoins. At the same exact time that Ripple is working closely with the UK, they just got their license with the UK, by the way, providing adequate direction on how to regulate and adopt digital asset technology. In this video, I break down all the significant connections between Ripple and the UK government. And yes, there is a ton of connections between Ripple and the UK government. But on top of that, we also know that Ripple is working closely with them. We've talked about in the past, RLUSD becoming RLGBP, RL Yen, things like that. I still think that that is in the pipeline most likely, especially considering the fact that Ripple has been prepping on-chain FX with, a few of the initiatives happening around the XRP ledger, specifically the amendments. So we're definitely focused on that. But the main thing to look at here is stablecoin initiatives happening outside of the US. We have over here, just in, Japan's SBI Holdings and Startail Group signed MOU to jointly develop a regulated yen-denominated stablecoin compliant with Japanese financial regulations. This happened also back in December. So in December, we got confirmation of, Japan also launching regulated yen-based stablecoins and the UK also launching, regulated stablecoins. Which leads me over here. 2026, the year non-USD stablecoins take off. I do believe that it is going to be the case. We are already starting to see tokenized euros expanding rapidly as well. This is the market cap of tokenized euros. We just surpassed over $1 billion with euro-backed stablecoins. I think that growth is going to accelerate much quicker going forward, especially with Mika being a thing and also Europe really engaging with crypto firms. So I'm very excited about that. But also, we look at on-chain FX becoming a reality. Like the on-chain FX market is so massive. Like a lot of people don't understand how big it really is. It really is the holy grail moment for crypto. We have here on-chain FX is the holy grail, and liquidity for non-USD stablecoins is the bottleneck. Most teams here are too crypto native, want to see someone take the Circle/Tether regulated route. Now, we already know that Ripple is doing so, but the main focus here is that yes, on-chain FX is the holy grail. It's a $7.5 trillion per day market. At this point, it's probably well over like 8+ trillion. But that's every single day. It's moving that value every single day. There is a ton of liquidity based around the FX market. Now, if we could bring that on-chain, which in my opinion, it already is starting, if we go back to that original image, we look at the non-USD backed stablecoin launches that happened in 2025, and there were 16 new stablecoins launched in 2025 that were non-USD backed. Now, with the UK and also Japan preparing stablecoin initiatives, just think about what could happen this year. If we go over here to the stablecoin market, we know that there's almost $300 billion tied back to it. Monthly transfer volume well over 9.3 trillion. By the way, that number has been growing rapidly over the last couple months. We just had one of the largest monthly candles for monthly transfer volume since going all the way back to, I think, like 2023. It might be a little bit longer. Let's actually look at this real quick. Yeah, so this was the largest growth of monthly transfer volume for stablecoin since going all the way back to March of 2022. Absolutely insane. The amount of stablecoin growth happening right now is tremendous. Now, going down here, we can see all of the stablecoins that are backed by US dollars. Now, there is a ton of them, but then down here, we also see some other additional names. Like, for an example, Swiss franc, South Korean won, Mexican peso, Singapore dollar. Like, there is a lot of, additional stablecoins out there, but there just hasn't been a ton of adoption for stablecoins beyond USD. But I do think that it could change this year. Now, when it comes back to USD-backed stablecoins, I do think that this year is also going to be massive for stablecoin initiatives. We have over here, you can't fade this momentum. Standard Chartered $500 billion in US bank deposits could flow into stablecoins by 2028. Emerging markets could lose another $1 trillion. Cash migration equals foundation for RWA boom, not to mention on-chain FX. On top of this, we also got another big update regarding Fidelity Investments moving in and launching their own stablecoin. Guys, Fidelity Investments is worth $5.9 trillion in terms of the assets that they have under management. They are an absolute giant. They are one of the longest running major TradFi names, founded over 80 years ago. This is a name that everyone is aware of. They know about Fidelity, which is why I said on X that soon every institution, asset management company, bank, etc., all of them will have their own stablecoin. The stablecoin boom officially kicks off in 2026 with Fidelity. This is a name that makes a move and all of TradFi pays attention. And yes, when Fidelity makes a move, everyone is watching. I would argue that we're probably going to start to see a large shift happening around TradFi moving on chain with stablecoin initiatives. We know JP Morgan is already looking at stablecoin initiatives. We probably will see more and more banks launching stablecoin initiatives like Citi, Bank of America, etc. So yeah, this year, I strongly believe that things are going to start to heat up in a much larger way. But the key focus here, obviously, is on-chain FX. On-chain FX, I mean, it's one of the biggest things to watch. I honestly don't think that there's anything that's bigger than on-chain FX. That's going to provide the liquidity for RWA tokenization at scale. On top of that, it's going to open up a ton of new opportunities around specific markets and asset classes. But on-chain FX just by itself, I mean, we're talking about trillions per day. We might not see the entire FX market move on chain overnight, but hey, over time, we could start to see that 8 trillion per day trickling in. But on top of this, we also have over here, stablecoin mindshare is up 4x since August of last year. This is the hottest sector in crypto right now by far. Yes, stablecoins, everyone loves stablecoins right now. All of the biggest players love stablecoin initiatives, enterprises, institutional players, you name it. They are all jumping in on the stablecoin boom. That's why you have names like Fidelity starting to make their move known. But on top of that, when we go over here, we have stablecoins are quietly becoming B2B's payment rail of choice. As regulatory clarity around stablecoins emerged throughout 2025, the stablecoin payment sector experienced significant growth, especially in B2B, where payment processes are often complex, slow, and expensive. This is particularly true for multi-currency transactions and cross-border transfers. Stablecoins address many of these inefficiencies, which is driving their rapid adoption. Yeah, with the Genius Act, I mean, listen, the Genius Act accelerated stablecoin adoption. This is not going to slow down. This is not going to slow down at all. In 2025 alone, there was $33 trillion worth of stablecoin transactions. That's insane. Guys, when we think about what's going on here, it is insane to see just how much growth is happening with stablecoins. If we go over here to just the transfer volume, like we're not even talking about how much money stablecoins moved itself, just transfer volume. In 2025 alone, over $57.4 trillion worth of monthly transfer volume through stablecoins. That's not accounting for transactions or settlement or anything like that. That's just transfer volume. It is wild that people are not taking a much larger look at this and realizing that we are in the beginning stages of everything moving on chain. A key factor here is obviously fiat. Fiat is moving on chain. We already have fiat tokenized. The US dollar itself is tokenized in a big way because majority of stablecoins are in USD backed stablecoins. I mean, you have 23 stablecoins in USD and you have 25 in, other countries, one in Germany, four in the British Virgin Islands, one in France, two in Bermuda, one in Bahamas, one in the Republic of Marshall Islands. You also have 3 in Singapore and 2 in Australia. But some of these numbers are starting to grow in a big way. Like we're seeing 48% here, 7%. The dollar actually dropped about 1.37%, and we're starting to see a lot more growth around some of these key areas. I think that this year we're going to be looking at these graphs and we're going to start to see a lot more growth beyond the USD backed stablecoin initiatives. But that's where we start to see on-chain FX become a reality. And I've been talking about that with XRP. Like, believe it or not, like a lot of people think that, the XRP ledger won't see like a ton of adoption through like FX or like XRP is going to get replaced. But the thing is, when we look at, let's grab RLUSD from this list. Let me find it real quick. There we have it. Let's go to the XRP ledger real quick because the XRP ledger has been growing tremendously in, just tokenized value itself. We actually have over $1.5 billion worth of tokenized asset value on the XRP ledger, but stablecoin market cap is up also 35%. If we're looking at the stablecoins themselves, let's go to the asset class here. Stablecoin initiatives. There's multiple stablecoins here already. We have the Australian digital dollar. We have a euro here as well. We have RLUSD. We also have USV on here, which is another euro stablecoin. We have BBRL. We also have USDB, which is basically, another US dollar backed stablecoin from Brazil Bank, and then also Circle's USDC. This is just a beginning though for a lot of these stablecoin initiatives on the XRP ledger. I would argue that we're probably going to see some yen-backed stablecoins on the XRP ledger. We're probably going to start to see even UK-backed stablecoins on the XRP ledger. Just when it comes back to the idea of on-chain FX, it's one of the largest use cases. It's the holy grail moment. It really is the holy grail moment. And I don't think people understand just how much larger this space will be in like the next 12 months. Because already in 2025 alone, we witnessed so much significant growth from tokenized assets to stablecoin initiatives. The only thing that didn't really grow was the price action. And I understand that, everyone wants price action. That will happen once we start to see all of these assets flooding on chain and then needing to be transferred, traded, swapped, etc. Because right now, a lot of this value is just simply sitting on chain. There's some transfer volume, but it's in the millions of dollars, not even in the billions of dollars just yet. So it's not going to affect some of these assets. But over time, that will accumulate and it will affect the underlying asset value. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If